welcome to this week's episode on the Stop the Asian Hate campaign, brought to you by grant from the California State Library in collaboration with the Burlington Community Services and Housing Development. I'm Thelma Sugay here on Pinay Insight. Several weeks ago, we've been talking about concerns about the hate crime or hate incidents that somehow lead to hate crimes. But today, we were thinking we'll go a different route. We'll talk about solutions. And our guest this week is an amazing lady. I've known her for years, but really didn't know her until yesterday during the pre-interview. So you get to meet her and you'll see why I think the world of her. We'll be right back after a few reminders here on Pinay Insight.
Thinking of premeditated violence, perhaps even of killing someone? Your thoughts cannot be ignored or unheard. LifeTarget.org has links to over 400 services ready to help you now. LifeTarget can help you find a proxy, someone always there to help you overcome your thoughts of violence, anger, and hate. Don't let your negative emotions take control. Your loved ones and your community need the positive side of you. You're not alone. LifeTarget has your back.
Workers Center, this time with Pearl Santos. Pearl, you are one of the prime movers and shakers of the community. You are a community organizer. You were so kind to actually put together that workshop on self-defense for the elderly for the Stop the Asian Hate focused and themed October 1st High Fest last October. And talk to me about how you feel this is going to help reduce the Asian hate incidents. What you're doing?
Well, we're teaching people how to be aware, to be able to prevent anything that might harm them, be it a person, be it anything. So it's really instinctive. The basic self-defense that we have to develop that. We have to remove the fear, which is the real enemy. At the time when there's imminent danger, a self-confidence that you can do something to defend yourself, like kicking, biting, maybe whatever, as long as, the presence of mind is there, by time, all those techniques. And we are providing free workshops to the community because of the ongoing, fear is imminent, fear is there, that is the enemy. So what we do, if people cannot make it to our in-person workshops, we do virtual Zoom, 8579-665987. There's password. If you contact us, we'll give you a password, we'll give you the time, the place. All we need to do is contact with you, help us set up in your place, whatever. We'll come and bring our trainers. So this is really for the community. That's what we like to do.
And you're right. I always empowerment. I love what you just said. And I love that you hit it right on the nail. I mean, I think Asian hate incidents actually stem from the not knowing. But if we told them how much we've contributed to this lovely nation, maybe they'll hate us less, right? It's all ignorance. So my tagline is educate and stop the hate. You agree?
Exactly. Thank you, Thelma, for pushing everything, doing all these things. You are making us more motivated, encouraged, and we know that you are there to help us announce, promote, broadcast. You are our stronghold in the community, Thelma.
Oh, thank you, Pearl. Miss Pearl Santos, you've always been one of my favorite. You're so modest, yet you move mountains to get things done. Now, you're also with the Mother Movement.
That is the Mother Movement.
That is the Mother Movement.
To help end rape. That's the title of our program. It's a self-defense, basic self-defense instinct, promoting, so that the mission of the Mother Movement is based on the principle that self-defense is an instinct, but it needs to be developed That's why we come out to the community, we reach out to people in order to make people realize that it's really instinctive.
Perfect. We love you always and forever. Thanks and our respects to you. God bless.
One flu, the China virus. Because of all of the negativity that is being spread through disinformation, together we can make a difference. Together we can make the world a better place.
We explained what we can do, how to report hate incidents, the difference between an incident and a crime.
And what is that difference?
Well, an incident is something that could be a hate speech, for example, or posting any image that's derogatory to the API community, but it doesn't rise to the level of a crime. And then another thing, which is a big takeaway we found out, is that in California, hate crime is not a crime by itself.
Interesting.
It's an addition to another crime. For example, if the guy that was yelling racial epithets at the protesters in Diamond Bar and not driven through the crosswalk, it wouldn't have been a crime.
Freedom of speech.
Yes, it would have been the act of driving through the crosswalk. We added to additional charge of the hate crime.
So it's almost like a gang enhancement.
It's an enhancement. So we want to make the hate crime a standalone crime in the state of California.
The Filipino Workers Center, it's so early Saturday, but we're celebrating the Larry Itliong Festival Day. And look at this amazing setup, the Bahay Kubo. This photo of our Honorable Larry Itliong, who has not been mentioned in so many history books, as he fought side by side with Cesar Chavez. He was the brains behind that union organizing so that they could get paid the right way. The farmers then so many years ago in the 1920s, 1930s. And if you go look at all the vendors, it's like a Filipino festival. Didn't we say we the Filipinos celebrate the longest Christmas ever, starting with the Burmans? We're only in October, but outside of the Filipino History Month that we're celebrating, which is the Larry Itliong Festival focus for today, we have the buko pie from R&D. Thank you. We had them at the Oktoberfest, and we thank you for being there. Waltaho with my friend Baby there. And of course, Panaderia at iba pa. And look at that. I know Ryan owns this Ryan, thank you. Ryan owns this little spot here, and he'll be selling paras. Right next to that is the parol. Look at the parol here. It's Christmas time here at the Filipino Workers Center, Larry Itliong Village. And let's show and pan into the side so you can see the Filipino Workers Center label and the Larry Itliong signage. Thank you, my dearest, for doing this. And of course, we have some of the other entrepreneurs. We have Chris's Cells, and we have our very wonderful artist who's given us the whole beautiful design at the park that we have at historic Filipino town. And we have some CalFresh, and of course our jeepney. Look at our jeepney. And then of course the Filipinos will always be religious and will always have our saints. This is Thelma Sugay reporting on Pinay Inside for the California State Library grant-funded Stop the Asian Hate program in collaboration with the Burlington Community Services and Housing Development. We'll be right back after a few reminders here on Pinay Inside. about our guest today. But before you get to meet her, let me introduce you to my favorite person, our co-host, health psychologist, Dr. Jeff Ring, also a leadership coach. Welcome back, Jeff. Good morning. And the author of a series called Curriculum
for
Culturally Responsive Healthcare. And it's a step-by-step guide.
Yes, to cultural competence training for physicians and healthcare practitioners.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I thought I heard or saw somewhere you're the first person to ever cover that subject matter.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about how we deliver healthcare in a way that is respectful and honors patients. Ours is more of a training manual for physicians.
Wonderful.
And for educators.
And where can someone like myself, who's not really in that field, get a hold of that?
Oh, it's online. You can Google Jeff Ring and Curriculum for Culturally Responsive Healthcare.
Nice. Amazon will have it.
Maybe
I'm
so.
sure. Okay. I'm excited about this guest. I just
very
sent you
happy.
her resume. I mean, we've been talking about the problem, mostly focusing on, obviously, the victims. But today I thought we'd switch it around and make it a little lighter. It is Halloween, the start of almost the holiday season. We're getting to Thanksgiving. So I thought, why not talk about solutions? Solutions that
Indeed.
regular people can do. This person is extraordinary. Don't get me wrong, she's extraordinary. But really, every human being, even the youth most especially, can do their part. You agree?
Absolutely, yes.
And we actually heard a little about that from the youth club, who presented a short workshop last October 1st at the historic Filipino town fair. I know you missed that for good reason, but we'll have you back. But now to introduce someone I've known all these years, but she's like this little busy bee who just works quietly in the background, very humble, modest. Honestly, when I read her resume, as you have, I was floored. I said, oh my God, she has kept this from us all these years. Others would have tooted their own horns and really bragged about it, but not this one. She works hard, but quietly. She and Jeff have something in common. I'm so excited. Let's give it up for Pearl Bermudez Santos of the Mother Movement, which is the movement to help end rape, which leads to child abuse and other forms of abuses. Pearl, say hello to our viewers, please.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Thelma. Thank you, Dr. Jeff, for having me here. I'm so happy to, let this program come out, and so that many people will hopefully get aware of it, our advocacy.
So you've been to the Middle East.
I worked there for like 14 years at the King Faisal Specialist Hospital.
And that's where you started this program.
Oh yes.
Is it safe to assume there's a high rate of those rape and child abuse cases where you work?
I think it's a universal problem, but over there we see in the news a lot of people, because they go there to work, but most of them, I think it's really cultural differences. People do not see eye to eye sometimes, and so there's tendency that there will be some disappointments. They hired someone, cannot deliver, and so what happens? I was really moved when Sarah Malabato, this case.
Oh, yes. I know a little about it. It's a Filipino domestic,
Yes.
right? And she was in the Middle East, wasn't she?
UAE. Yes.
UAE.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
part of Middle East.
Okay.
But it's all over also the world. Is that many women, especially Filipinos, are hired to do this domestic. We call them domestic even if they are caregivers, therapy. They are still domestic because they work and live with the employer.
Right.
They stay at home. That's why they're domestic. So it's a general.
And it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was so widely talked about. It's one of those widely acclaimed cases. The
Yes.
government had to step in to get her out. It was one of those where they really said, we cannot condemn this. What unacceptable? What can we do? What do you need to trade this person? It was all about trading something for something. I remember that.
Yes.
That ended well, if I remember. We were able to bring her home. Well, in that sense.
Yes. Okay. Well, then after that, this is Flor Contemplacion that happened in
That's
Singapore.
right.
So kind of,
Shortly
you know,
It
people
started something.
started something, and I was in the middle of counseling outside of the official duties. I would go to the shelter. Our, kababayans, our
Countrymen, yes.
I saw that how much depressed they are. They go with anxiety. Overnight, somebody would be shouting because of anxiety, and then they couldn't sleep. 200 of them in the shelter. So what will you do if you see something like that? And I was working in the hospital. I mean, my official work is with the medical directors. I was a hospital assistant, so I was comfortable, sleeping well, eating well. But then, at the back of my mind, I said, I should do something about this.
Oh.
Not everybody has the opportunity to touch base with them. So I think I am being
We need more people like her and like you, Dr. Jeff. And this week we said we would talk about solutions and how, and she's doing exactly that. She's been giving workshops, delivering them. She was there as well during the October 1st Start Filipino Town Festival. And she did a demo on mindfulness and self-defense.
I feel like what we need more of is this kind of attitude of altruism, of caring for others, of being sensitive and unafraid of approaching people that are hurting, and then to really communicate with empathy and understanding. And that you will weave, the self-defense empowerment with mindful presence and self-compassion is a really precious recipe, I think, for healing.
Thank you for that motivation. When I hear people saying like that, the more that I get motivated, and I feel like, it's doable. Anyway.
Oh, anything is doable. I think if we gather a group of people who are committed to the cause, we can move mountains. I know it's cliche.
Yeah, there's a writer, Brian Stevenson, who's an African-American civil rights lawyer. He wrote Just Mercy, and he writes about dismantling mass incarceration and racism. He says, one important thing we must always do is stay tethered to hope. Stay tethered to hope.
I agree. Amen to
That's
that.
what we do here, I believe, in
Yes.
our conversations. We try to see positivity and optimism and possibility, even in very difficult and challenging times or situations.
And you run about 2 nonprofit organizations.
Well, they are my babies. So,
Talk to us about that.
I am also a member of various organizations because when they see you that it's something they need you. So
Yeah, they
I
say
get
give
recruited.
more work to the busy people.
I
They'll
get-
they'll handle it,
Delegate,
right?
delegation.
The Family Caregiver Support Group. Yeah, it's also a 501c3 here. Hopefully that because I handle family caregivers who's taking care of their loved ones, and they are more stressed and they get more sick.
And that's actually where I saw her yesterday. She was at the Filipino Workers Center because we were celebrating the Itliong Day. Are you familiar with Larry Itliong? May I educate you?
Please,
a bit?
please.
Okay, so Larry Itliong, you hardly hear about him, but he actually worked with Cesar Chavez to form the Union of Farm Workers so they would get what was due them. And what had happened was, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that there were about 1,500 Filipino farmers who wanted to carry out a strike so that they could obviously get the benefits they were reportedly weren't getting. And they knew that at that time there were like 3,000 Latin farm workers, and they knew that if they did not include them, they would only, the effects of the strike would not be impactful because they would only cover the 1,500 jobs. So they said, if you want to make a difference, let's band together so that we can make this happen. So Cesar Chavez actually has a street named after him. We were hoping Larry Itliong, by just stating the right historical data, would have some sort of acknowledgement for his efforts and recognition. So we celebrate Larry Itliong Day every year now for the past, I think, 10 years. Yeah, so it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. But that's where I saw her, and she was actually manning a booth for CowFresh. I mean, this lady just keeps on helping, just keeps on going and going and going. And she was there for that. And then she tells me, and she goes, "I'll talk to you later because I'm handing out these brochures. I'm giving away free workshops because you started me on it, Thelma." She goes, "So, and this is all about Stop the Asian Hate. So this is going to be an ally of ours for a long, long time, Jeff, moving forward." So tell me what moved you to start these organizations or to be altruistic. I always wonder, is it parents' influence? Is it just you being who you are? Is it in your nature too? Or did you have someone who inspired you?
Or religion, spirituality. There are lots of pathways. But
That's true. That's true. What could be the other options? But
I think
Think
all of the above.
all of the above. Okay.
It's actually maybe as in that long article that you saw, I said that it's an inspiration from Mother Mary. But I said, don't print it out. And then he said, no, it's okay, it's good. Because I said, I'm not saying I talked to her, but, I was walking to my office and then I was really contemplating on what name to use for this organization. And then all of a sudden it said, Mother. And what would mother would mean? So that word mother itself, where it come from? And then I just, use it as an acronym. I put in there the meaning
words,
of
right.
MOPHER.
Yes.
Because I was thinking a mother knows best. Mother would be able to guide the children, teach the children, give them confidence, show them how to live their life. Because in Saudi Arabia, most women are there and their children are left at home. So there is no one to, guide them. And sometimes the social cost of migration is really so high. So for the question you asked, what caused or what
Moved you to be who you are.
Me for maybe this project. As I was telling Dr. Jeff earlier, I outside of my official duty in the hospital, I would go to our kababayans in the shelter to bring them some food, to bring them some
What was your official capacity at the hospital?
I would say hospital assistant.
Okay.
And
And what did
boss-
that entail?
My boss was the medical director.
Mm.
We were one-on-one. I was the only staff under him. Of course, all the other departments, but for his office. And so I would do everything that he's not doing.
Mostly administrative.
Mostly administrative because he's a medical doctor, so he works with the other departments. So all his reports, all his meetings and everything, letters, it just go over them and sign.
And you always say, practice, practice, practice. And that consistent practice of helping us every single day, day in, day out. And this is the result. And the reason why I love that she's here is because we always talk about this Asian hate probably stems from a fear of the unknown. But if they knew more about us as a culture, it would probably help eradicate the problem, or at least reduce it.
if we want to be a good citizen, we have to fight back against stereotypes in media. We can't just see, all of the images that are given to us of minority individuals on the news or in film or television. We need to immerse ourselves in seeing role models of beauty and excellence and community and love. And then all of a sudden, we haven't just swallowed the fixed image of the other that society wants us to do.
That is
It
so
takes
hard to do.
work.
That is a challenge. And let's think about that some more. We'll be right back after a few reminders here on Pinay Insight.
She's back. She's smooth. And she's throwing a party. Saturday, November 5th at the PCH Club. Groove with Heidi Tan's Smooth Grooves Party Night. Feel the good vibes as Heidi Tan performs classics and her own original smash hits.
Love again, the kind that makes me live. Love again.
Heidi Tan, performing with international guitarist Michael Garvin, saxophonist Marcus Adams, Craig Samuels, and Jamin Laws. One night of smooth grooves. Saturday, November 5th at the PCH Club with Heidi Tan. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. For tickets, click HeidiTanMusic.com or TicketTailor.com. Don't miss Heidi Tan's Smooth Grooves Party Night.
We're back here on Pinay Insight and Dr. Jeff. We're getting to the challenging part. You mentioned before the break about asking the right questions and then on our end handling it with great sensitivity. Let's hear about a story that she might be able to share with us, a narrative. There's one in particular you remember that maybe we could learn from, and no, you don't need to identify any of the characters.
Okay, I remember quite a few that are really, I put them personal because it's really, I got really affected.
Okay.
But this young woman, less than 20, she was forced to come to work and then send money because she has a son also that is very sick.
So this is an overseas
Overseas
foreign worker.
Yeah. And then, but set up there is the restroom would be separate from that house, so the driver would come and use her. So, and the system was he would put a handkerchief with something, and then he would find herself lying in his bed already, victimized. So I told her, what do you suggest that we do in addition to what we're already doing?
Which was what? What were you already working
Oh,
with?
we were giving them livelihood skills training, teaching them how to, cook and cater the snacks to the workers.
So adding to their skill set.
Adding so that they don't need to go and earn a salary of $200, which is they can
Make that.
earn that, doing those manicure, something like that. So in the end, I said, "What would you like other stuff talk to you?" And then she said, "Mom, it's just self-defense." This is what gave me fear. And it was impactful because everybody wanted to go. And if we needed teachers, they're martial arts. We don't teach them martial arts. We teach them, basic confidence building, fear eradication, the instinct, basic. But we needed somebody who is, authoritative. Because if they ask questions, then they could answer rightly. Some of the questions asked were, what would you do if you are in a room locked and you are going to be, attacked already? So those kind of questions. So we don't know how to answer them. So we needed the martial arts experts. So if we needed 200, 500, they would come on the weekend. Sometimes there are more teachers than students.
Wow.
It wasn't really difficult to coordinate something like that there.
It seems like your philosophy is about strengthening others and empowering others and giving them the skills to be able to take care of themselves, and at the same time doing your best to help create a softer world in which people treat each other with humanity and respect.
And we need that, Jeff, now more than ever.
Thank you so much.
And you have this brochure here with you that says you are now offering free self-defense workshops. And you said you were inspired by the workshop you had given during our festival.
Yes.
And so you're now making the theme Stopping the Asian Hate.
Correct.
Oh, so talk to us about how they can participate, and maybe you said if they can't really come in person, maybe your schedule, that they can actually join via Zoom. Talk to our viewers about that.
Yeah. Okay, this little handout that I gave away yesterday has tips. We don't reinvent the wheel. These are already available all over, but it's a reminder. When people forget and then they become a victim. So in this workshop, we wanna put up like reminders, or for those who don't know yet, they can join us But of course, Thelma, what I want them to do is organize themselves, have a group, and then
Yes,
we come.
in their own communities.
It's free. We don't even charge them even transportation. So let them do their part. We will
Yes.
come and provide the training. And if they're so inaccessible, like very far, then you can provide our Zoom. We have a Zoom program, a link, that we are teaching Tai Chi right now, every day, since pandemic.
I want to join that.
Yes,
I've been
and
looking for a group to,
I'll
to
give you our
join.
link, and then
Okay.
please invite others too, because it's just by Zoom.
Yes.
Anybody can join as long as they have our credentials. But we are doing karaoke, recreational therapy for seniors to prevent isolation, loneliness, depression, and all those things that COVID brought as a byproduct.
Yes.
And we continue doing it.
And I saw Zumba on there. I'm joining that too. Okay.
I was forced to do the certification, the licensure for Zumba, and I'm just training now how to do it.
She's so wonderful. So you had to train so you could teach it the proper way. I love that.
And we also
And there's one more. Bingo.
oh, that was what I gotta say. We have bingo ayuda, no betting. Nobody gives money. They receive our money. You give them $10 if they win the blackout or the bingo. And if there were people that donate money, because some people like to share, then we raffle it. Because we only have 3-4 winners at one time, 1 hour game. It's every Wednesday.
And where
Every
does this take
Wednesday.
place?
Online.
Everything's online.
Online.
Nice.
Yeah, they can find our Zoom link if they will email us.
You know, I noticed in your brochure, in self-defense, you describe how to remove a tight grip on the body.
Yes,
And,
doctor.
and I think that, I mean, obviously that's important in a personal self-defense way, but I feel like, Thelma, the work that we do here is about removing the grip, the social grip of hatred and cruelty and marginalization in Asian and other beleaguered communities. I feel like to release a grip means someone has to exhale, to relax, to find kindness and grace somehow. And it just makes me think a lot about how do we change our relationships in this nation, in this world, from grip to united or to nurturing.
So beautiful.
Right? How do we do that?
Dr.
That's
Ring,
so
you always
inspiring.
manage to relate everything and it clicks. Something clicks in our mind. You're right. It's that grip, because that grip is tension. It's actually tension, right?
It hurts
People-
both. It hurts both.
Right.
The
People
grip
are
and the
angry, so they grip onto something. And sometimes they release it in another form, which is aggression.
That's right.
And so how do we soften? That's why you always say, let's make this world a softer world. And it's making sense all around.
Well, I feel like this conversation is an example of that. As I hear about your beautiful work, something in me softens.
Yes.
Something is inspiring to me about the best of human beings. And
Right.
it moves me to be sure I'm doing all that I can to take care of my neighbors.
Now,
Maybe-
tell them about the hours, though. If it's Zumba, is it just
Okay.
like accessible anytime, or is there a particular time they can only access
On
it?
the Zumba, it's still under, we've not started it. We're just doing kind of informal with friends. We are
Okay.
doing Zumba really, but not for the class, not for the public. But if
Tai
you are
Chi?
interested, I
Yeah.
can already invite you because we do it Tuesday and Thursday, private.
Okay, and where's this Zoom? By
So
Zoom.
Monday and Thursday, that's karaoke.
Okay, and what time?
All are the same time, 5 p.m. PDT, Los Angeles time. And the
5 p.m.
Philippines, that's 8 a.m. because we have participants from the Philippines.
Oh, that's
We're all over,
wonderful.
we're global.
That is so wonderful.
People playing in bingo are almost 200 from the Philippines mostly. And they get the ayuda. People that play from here, in the United States or elsewhere, if they win, they don't get the money. The money is sent to their relative. They pick a benefit. So sometimes
the
their,
beneficiary.
their
Sure.
siblings, their offspring, whoever.
See, you're
Theirs.
contagious. Her kindness is contagious. So people don't want to keep anything for themselves anymore, just
But-
because you've set a fine example.
But in fairness, I'm not doing it alone. I have
It
team.
takes a village.
I have a team. Her name is Cress. If you log in, you will meet her. She's the one, anchoring this. And husband Loloy or Rosito or Loloy. He's the technical director for our self-defense, and he's also a good singer and a good dancer.
That's
And
why
he-
they have it
he-
all covered. I
He's a
love it.
Tai Chi gold medalist. He learned his
Wow.
Tai Chi from a master in Chinese, but in the Philippines.
Okay, I'm in. 5 to 7 p.m. I'll see you there. Yeah.
All right.
God provides.
Yeah. Well, I am so sorry. This could go on and on, but we have to wrap up this episode. But we thank you once again. Would you like to say goodbye to our viewers?
Can I just
Brett?
on the other days another
Yes, yes,
so
please,
can you
here.
finish this off?
Yes,
okay. So
please.
Mondays and Thursdays is karaoke, and Tuesdays and Fridays dance and Tai Chi. Wednesdays are for Bingo Ayuda. All these are 1 hour. Sometimes they extend, but we give 1 hour at least. And Zumba coming up maybe on a Saturday, not yet finalized.
And this is 5 p.m. PST, which is 8 a.m. in the Philippines.
8 a.m. in the
And you have to
Philippines.
figure out what that time is where you are.
And send us the email if you want the link or the Zoom meeting ID number. I can give you.
Yeah,
Zoom
please.
meeting ID number is 8579665987.
Need
But
this
suspense for the passcode.
suspense on the
If you
passcode.
contact us, we'll give it to you, no doubt.
And this will be showing around Halloween. So happy trick or treat. Please be safe. Jeff, a few parting words to our guests.
Yes, take good care. Sweetness is the theme for Halloween and family.
That's
and
right.
with gratitude for November. So we will swim in those waters together.
We will. We'll be right back. We'll see you next week.
Justice for the Roques! 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 Justice for the Roques!
What Kim basically told us, he was basically reassuring us in terms of I'll go with the victim services first. He was reassuring us that the associate that my family and I are currently communicating with, her name is Nadine. She's with the victim services. We were assured that she was the best within the victim services, and that we should continuously communicate with her in order to get things done. There will be a lot of paperwork, there will be a lot of applications sending back and forth, but that's how the process works, and we were reassured that the process can go as smoothly as it possibly can. Right. And then for the second one, the public defendant, he basically was in talks with the public defendant, and for the prosecution, he was given 2 months in order to collect all the evidence, the statements, and all the videos in order to amend the charges. And that has happened thanks to the court hearing September 30th, and the charges were amended. And so the public defendant is basically asking for the same thing, collecting evidence, hiring digital experts to slow the video down, etc., body cam footage, medical records, and stuff like that for the defendant. The same way that we were given 2 months for ours, they also agreed to give 2 months for them to collect all the evidence necessary in order to defend the one who is the accused. And so we need to respect that, is what he said, and it's in all fairness. Yeah, it's part of the procedure, and there's nothing we can do about it. But
against Phil.
yeah.
Also because the charges are
Yeah, and the charges were raised. The charges increased, so they need the defense needs more time and more evidence in order to support their argument. And so,
Can you explain the charges to everybody?
well, the charges were initially 1 felony battery and 1 misdemeanor battery. But thanks to one of the charges being amended on September 30th, the misdemeanor battery increased from a misdemeanor to a felony battery. So that's 2 counts of felony battery. And we're looking at more sentencing, more years for the defense.
Is Attorney Kim pursuing the hate crimes enhancement also?
That I'm not sure of. I overheard the judge saying there was 4 counts, and now there's only 2 counts. I think that from what I can remember from the previous court hearings, it'll be complicated, and I think, don't quote me, I can ask him if it's still, if he's still pursuing the hate crime enhancement, but from what I can remember, what he told us, his boss, I think, basically said that they took it out. I think. I'm not sure. I'll have to get back to you on that. But they should be. They should be. If not, yeah.
They still have the great bodily injury one because that's a great enhancement that adds. Because like there's many cases where it's assault, and then they don't want that GBI, great bodily injury, because then it's just assault. But if it's assault with great bodily injury, it's like, you know what I mean? If you don't get the hate crime, at least we need as many enhancements as we can. You know what I mean?
I see.
Yeah.
He's coming.
It did get included, which is why the charges were amended.
We can't drop that. We submitted the medical record. We can't get that dropped. We submitted.
So I think maybe I'll let you handle the question.
Yeah, I mean, we see the urgency. We're the ones fundraising for the family so that they get the money that they need when they have to take off of work. Where is the urgency of the consulate? I mean, that's what, our friend here is saying, is that there needs to be more urgency.
In order for the family to talk to you, they have to wait around, Yeah, but that's what they're saying. They don't see the urgency of the help being provided to them.
The same way that this one, the next hearing is going to take January. We can't say that there's no urgency there. We're doing our part. We're doing as fast as we can also.
But sir, that's a criminal investigation. That's a trial. That's kind of different. This is apples and oranges.
Yeah,
okay?
I understand.
That's apples and oranges. And these people, they could be at work right now. I mean, they could be like trying to earn money to pay their bills, but they're here just trying to get justice, and they got nothing to pay their bills. I mean, do you think it's cool that like they have to depend on GoFundMes to like pay their bills and pay their rent, keep a house over their head?
I don't think it's cool at all. Okay, that's why I've been coordinating. We've discussed this. I asked for the receipts and for the breakdown of what needs to be given to them. I've already asked them. Okay, I'm just waiting for it. I know it's a little tedious. It's not as exciting as arresting someone or fighting against a criminal here.
We're not asking for excitement. We are asking that they get support.
We're asking for action. It's enough of this talk about, these are nice words that you're saying, but at the same time, the family needs action.
What action is right now? I already asked for the budget. I'm just waiting for the paperwork.
This is a slow delay.
It's not a delay. It's a requirement. It's not a delay. It's a requirement.
They're suffering.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. What matters?
Their suffering doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if we don't have the paperwork. I need the paperwork done.
But aside from the paperwork, I'm asking also, they raised the concern last time about the PNP officer who was present. And so just how was that addressed? How was that concern addressed in the consulate after that?
Oh, I think the consul general, I think, talked to him already. I'm not privy to that one. It's above my pay grade matter. It's something that's not.
But it's something that you can help raise, or
no, we already raised it. I told the consul general about it, and so they did not know that that person introduced himself into the difference.
I think we need an official response though, because that was extremely concerning. One, like there is this slowness of actually helping his family, but then like there's funds going to a PNP in the consulate, and we know that there is PNP within the consulate.
Yeah,
the fact that there is a police attaché. The fact that there is government funding going into a police attaché to be in the consulate while the family was there, they were looking for help. They were looking for sympathy, but they were not given that in that meeting. And the police was there, and we are all like, we know about the political situation in the Philippines where police are actually surveilling activists, or surveilling not even activists, just people actually just wanting the services that government is supposed to serve. So that's extremely concerning to us. So I think like you can't say, oh, this is above my pay grade. You should actually have like an official statement telling us like how are y'all going to respond to that. That was extremely concerning. That was scary. That was scary for the family.
Yeah, that's why I opened it to him, because I was scared after I realized who's that person. And he's not invited, by the way. And no one's told us. And one of your employees was so keeping an eye about the camera. We're just there to ask for help. We are the ones.
We've been here before.
No, but we need some answers.
think what's holding wrong because they raised it in the previous meeting with you. What's the response to their concerns?
We'll talk to the consul general.
I have a question. Didn't the new Philippine president say something that he wants to help, that he acknowledges Filipinos suffering the rising rate of hate crimes in the United States, and he wants to do something about it? Is this what it looks like? Is this what this looks like? I mean, is this how what's he trying to do to help? Because
the system's not helping the people right now.
Yeah.
This is why we're out here talking to you. Just as people, that's our concern.
Crime happens. Okay, if crime happens, it doesn't mean.
But the system, but yeah, crime happens, and there's things that we can do with that, right?
If you can just give some concrete things, examples of moving forward, let's say to the next court date or something, to bring confidence to the family and the people. We'll give you the
Nobody
opportunity
knows
to say that, you know?
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
If we're getting the support, what kind of support? And this is the anxiety that's impacting not only the family, but also everyone around, and also the people that can be possibly impacted by any future hate crimes. This is the first step. So what are we going to do about this?
Yeah.
That's my concern.
Are you going to help them out with their utility
Are we going to
bills?
keep saying we're going to talk to the consulate, or are we going to figure out something? And I understand you guys have to have your jobs and figuring out what that is, but we're here today to say that we're hurting here and we're looking for some help. And it sucks to beg for something that it should be a human right for everybody.
That's right. Yeah.
Why are we here begging for this?
Yes.
I know you guys have things that you guys got to get to, but are here for us.
You're not begging for anything. I just said
I said we're begging.
Yeah,
we're begging.
We're begging.
I'm saying I just.
Well, we do because we're suffering.
And there's no concrete action.
What do you mean there's no concrete action? I've been coordinating with the family for weeks.
What would it take to get even access to that assistance for nationals, right?
I already discussed this. I just need the documentation to send to the Manila the request.
There's plenty of videos, there's plenty of testimonies.
It's
You
not
can
that.
go online and Google all the
I
evidence
need-
you want that the family has already testified and are re-traumatized by retelling their story. I don't know how much more they need.
I already told them. I already talked to the family. I listed down. I even edited some of it. I told them this is what I need. This is what's the list that needs to be sent. That's it. I'm waiting for it. That's it. Okay? You don't need to beg. You don't need to say that we're victims. We know you're victims. That's why we're doing this. That's why I'm here. Okay? I'm talking to them. I'm telling them this is what I need. Okay? Last time that we were here, about 2 weeks ago. Okay? I told them that within a week I'll talk to them. I did. Okay? I've been talking to them. Asking them this is what I need. Okay? Beyond that, it's something that I can't do anything about.
Oh, I think if we could just get those concrete examples of what the goals are and what the end result we're trying to go for, that would help out. You know, because right now we're just saying like, oh, I'm gonna talk to them. We're here for you guys, but is there any like steps or like what's next? After that, what's next here? After that, we're gonna press for this and stuff like that.
Well, there's a continuing dialogue with the LAPD and the Sheriff's Department. And we also have programs with the Filipino American Bar Association in terms of providing assistance to victims of Asian hate. In terms of the LAPD, we've discussed programs with them in disseminating what can be done for victims of hate crimes and bringing to them the issues that the Roque family and maybe others have also brought up, like delay or telling them to maybe, are you sure that you want to file the case, or maybe asking them to downgrade the case or something like that. We don't want that to happen. We want a case that they want to be filed in accordance to the law, be filed, so that they'll be given the day in court.
But I mean, why they not letting us, my family knows that they need to be there? LAPD, I know they're there from the beginning. So why is that the way it is?
No,
they need to hide?
Another name.
If you say there's lack of transparency, the Consul General did not know. That's why he introduced the people. He introduced everyone in the room, including that person. And that's why we found out that he gave the wrong name or a different name. There's no lack of transparency on the part of the consulate.
What happened is the LAPD is not yet present in that meeting. As you're saying, his purpose is to coordinate with the LAPD. It was the family and the community members there to meet regarding the concerns of the family. And then this person was in the corner, silent, and when we introduced ourselves and asked the purpose of his presence and asked him who he was, that he said, I'm with the consul. And then he said, my name is Dean. And then we said, oh, are you inquiring about his purpose in the meeting? Are you with the services staff? Are you with that? He said, I'm already with the consul. Do you want to see my ID?
Yeah,
and so,
we discussed this last week already, and we already told you that we did not know about it, okay, and that's why the Consul General introduced him with his official name, okay?
Yeah, after we were already inquiring about his presence and his purpose. So I think for future meetings, we'd want to know who's everyone that's present on the consulate and what's their purpose for being there. Because the concerns that the family is raising that we share is, why were we made to be surveilled by the PNP when we're raising a concern of the community? The question that we need a response from the consulate about is, what does this mean? Is the family going to be surveilled because we're raising this concern, or the organization's going to be surveilled for raising these concerns?
If you're gonna hurt the organization, you need to hurt me too.
Can I just make a statement? I can tell that you're very frustrated with all of these questions and concerns being raised. I hope that you take your frustration and you take our collective frustration and you run that up your ladder. And let the people who are above you and above your pay grade know the amount of frustration that is being held here right now.
It's just like nonchalant when you're speaking. Maybe they need a different representation from the council and of the police. Maybe somebody that's a little bit more professional and has a little bit more presence there. And that's not, we'll do it, okay. You know, if you're such a representation of the consulate, you should be a little bit more professional and actually have something concrete to tell these families to answer their questions. I understand there's different victims of rape, but a victim is a victim, and you cannot shame a victim just because,
I did not shame
what it is not a bigger issue.
Well, you don't seem to be very empathetic to what they're going through. I mean, you saw the video. I'm sure a lot of people have seen the video, and I'm not even going to describe it. It's, you know how bad it is. And just to say, well, I'm just doing all this bureaucratic stuff, and how about like, hey, I know that you went through this traumatic stuff. Check in. How are you doing?
Again, I do that. Okay? Maybe you don't know that, but I do that.
You seem pretty defensive.
Because we've been repeating this again. You tell me that there's no transparency. I told you that during the meeting, we told you everybody was there. You tell me that there's no action. I told you that I'm coordinating with them and I'm asking for the paperwork to be done so that we can ask for the money. You told me that there's no money that's being given. I told you that just need the paperwork to be done, to be finished so that it can be sent. Okay? Well, okay. I guess I don't have to be defensive about it, even though I'm here like basically receiving every question out here about me being incompetent with my job. And I'm here to support. I'm trying to do my job. I'm trying to help you guys. I'm asking for to help let's help each other out and do documentation. You need a meeting, I set it up.
I think the family wanted to thank, all of us, I think we're just very happy that folks continue to come out in the organization to support and to push. And so thank you to everybody for coming out.
The next court date will be on January 11th, and that will be the preliminary date setting. And then the 24th will be the actual preliminary date, because it's within 10 days. So it'll be on the 24th.
24th?
Yeah, it's they decided 23rd, but there's a holiday, MLK, so it'll interfere within the 10-day march. So it was moved to 24th.
So the 11th is kind of just more of an administrative.
Yeah.
But the 23rd is actual.
24th.
24th
is the actual hearing where we need a lot of people. Because my family and I will be testifying on the 24th.
So we have more time to organize and build support. Take advantage of the time.
We got 2 months. We want to pack the courts where they're kicking us out, where there's too much of it. These are a good problem. You know what I mean? And we all do our stuff on the side, go back, you got 2 months, it don't stop because it's a long gap. We're gonna keep doing our stuff. Yeah.
If the defense has 2 months to build up their argument, we have 2 months. We also have that 2 months to build up support, to build up momentum. That's right. And we need to use that to our advantage.
Don't just wake up January 19th and be like, oh, go to court next week. Start today, start talking about it, you know what I mean?
So the campaign has different committees. I know there's people here from the media committee, there's outreach committee, there's the campaign research, and demands committee. There's people that have been working on, what are the other, like multimedia, outreach, fundraising. And so I think if folks aren't in a committee yet, folks can join or work with the organizations to do the build-up and preparation, because then January 23rd is going to be a big day. 24. Yeah. We'll confirm January 24 is going to be a big day that we can all work together to prep for. But I know that the solidarity has been very inspiring, very moving. Really hope we can continue to build the movement together and build the relationships with our organizations, build the fight for justice. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I just want to invite everyone, on behalf of NAFCON, we really appreciate your support. And we're actually having a really big national conference in historic Filipino town on November 5 and 6. And the family will be there. Tita Narissa and Patricia will be there sharing the story. But also we will be talking about the broad issue of stopping police brutality and anti-Asian hate violence. And the family of Angela Quinto will also be in attendance. So we really want to see more of the community come out as well, because people from all over the nation are going to come here to SoCal. So we'll send out that information and invite as well.
Justice for the Roques!
Justice for the Roques!
Justice for the Roques!
Justice for the Roques!
That brings to an end this week's episode on Pinay Inside for the Stop the Asian Hate campaign, brought to you by grant from the California State Library in collaboration with the Burlington Community Services and Housing Development. I hope you learned a little something today, because I certainly did. Remember, let's educate and not hate. We'll be signing off, and we'll see you next week.